welcome back to the Otherberg podcast. I am the host, Peter, and got my co-host, Chris, with me today. How you been?
Good, bro. You know, chilling, maxing, relaxing. Same old, kinda.
Yeah. I was like you this week, just chilling. Work, work can be work. I'm trying to. Yeah, at this point in my career and life, I'm just trying to figure everything out, man.
Yeah, no, I feel you, bro. Feel you. Just finished my class last week, Saturday, so waiting for the next one to start, and they'll start up here the next week or so. So
What's up?
looking forward to that, I guess. I mean, I am looking forward to it at the same time. And like, it's still school. At the end of the day, it's still school.
I mean, look at this. You're gonna have a master's degree,
which hopefully helps me get, somewhere in that field.
Yeah, a master's degree is. I was talking to my mom, and I was having a convo with my mom about, because I was like looking at where I'm at now and how much money I could get more if I had a master's. So those are things I think about.
Some people really just look at the certifications, though.
That's another thing I told her about, because I'm debating on certs too. Certs are faster. And a lot of people that they go into accounting field, they do go for their masters, but there are like so many. Yeah, like with the IT and accounting, there's so many certs you could get that you don't necessarily need a master's. I think a lot of people, if they do get the master's, if they do accounting, is because of the CPA requirement.
Right.
CPA requirement, you have to have 150 college credits before you sit for the CPA. So just, you weigh, and me, I'm just, I'm weighing a lot of different things in my head.
Right.
But yeah, let's see, me and Chris, we're adults and we got stuff to handle, but
stay here adulting as adults and whatnot.
Yeah, but we also on our free time, or even still while working, or even driving our cars or whatever, we listen to a couple albums. Start with the first one, Big K.R.I.T. Now this title is kind of it fits the album very much, and when I get to my review, I'm gonna elaborate on that. Digital Roses Don't Die. Chris, you're I say you're a big K.R.I.T fan than me. You could speak on how you felt about the album.
I really liked it, but at the same time, it's like I could see this progression coming along. This is more of a chill album. It's not something you're gonna play at a club. This is more of a kickback, if anything. It's very, very chill, very, very soul oriented. You can even I can't because I didn't do a deeper analysis on this. There was a few songs on here that felt like, even though they weren't directly, there was no actual like musical. I can't say musical inspiration. I can't think what I'm trying to say. It was he didn't sample necessarily, but the way he structured like the music, it felt like he was sampling something else. If that makes sense. It was on. Let me see here.
Was it Generational Weight Down?
I think so. I think that's because that's two after Born. And
okay.
I didn't look at the list while I was listening to it. I just remembered the only ones that I remembered off the back because they were my favorites was So Cool and South Side of the Moon. South Side of the Moon was my favorite though. Second song on the album here.
Okay. We got that your view?
You said
Or
the what?
oh, is that all you know?
Oh no, I mean like there was like sometimes from a Crit album, I still want like a banger. Like the what is it? The subs. Like my sub. He had like part 1 to I think it's like part 4 is 5. Like I like like the 215s. I love that from Crit. But at the same time, I still like really can like appreciate this type of album because like I just feel like with this you can see the type of direction he wants to grow in. He doesn't have to be that type of that high energy, like I got that bang in the bass all the time type of rapper. I mean, don't get me wrong, because you're still gonna feel that bass.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he does, you're gonna feel that bass regardless. But it's not gonna be like pounding or nothing. It's gonna be like chill, but still there type beats.
Okay. Yeah, my thoughts on this Crit album. So the album it's called "Digger the Roses Don't Die." I think it's funny you say the direction of the album. I think this is very musical,
Mm-hmm.
very artistic, and very Andre 3000 like.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to say. Cause in the interludes,
Mm-hmm.
I damn near thought it was Andre 3000 talking.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the title, "Digger the Roses Don't
And he's
Die,"
on record as a 3000 fan.
yeah, he's singing
Mm-hmm.
melodic. This is very This ain't about bars. It's really conceptual,
Yeah.
which I'm like kind of not used because I'm looking. I was going back to the Crit albums, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Crit is here. What's the other one? And Forever is a Mighty Long Time. Like those are the 2 Crit albums that I really listened to. I probably should have listened to. I should go back to get Catalactica because that.
I was about to say you haven't heard Galactica.
I've heard a couple songs on it, but I haven't.
I think Galactica might be my favorite actually.
I have to go back. I've heard my sub part 3. Yeah, I've heard
That's
the
because I used to play that on repeat actually. So
yeah. I heard Soulful. Yeah, I've heard a couple songs. I haven't listened to it in total. But Forever is a Mighty Long Time. That's when I really got into Crit. That felt like rapping Crit. He was getting musical, but like records like
but he's
Big
been
Bang.
headed like towards this direction for a while. Though.
Yeah, like he's headed there, but like he's still on that southern. I want you to know I'm a southern dude. And then Crit is here.
He would still be like every once in a while he'd be like, I'm still like the king of the South or I'm the king of rap and whatever.
And then Crit is here. When Crit is here came out,
mm-hmm.
This is probably the Big K.R.I.T album I listened to the most. So at the time, this is pre-pandemic when when you had to go to the office and you had to like drive every day to work. Remember that, Chris?
Yeah.
I could afford to listen to albums over and over and over again. So this album I listen to a lot. Actually is probably one I know the most. I like this. This is another one where it's like you saw the balance of I'm going conceptual a little.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still Crit. I'm still that rapidy dude. Like the last record on here, I think that record, Mississippi Boy. He's southern as hell
mm-hmm.
on that record. But that's another album. So when we get to this, because he's dropped a couple. I didn't know he dropped a couple projects in between. It's better. Are these mixtapes or older projects? Return of Forever. Okay, maybe these are. But like, fast forward to now.
Yeah, no, no, keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, fast forward to now. I'm seeing a guy that wants to really expand his musical taste. He's focusing more on the art. If you look at it, every record it's like under. He has 17 tracks that are 38 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Tracks are less than like 2 minutes, so it's like very, very creative. I'll just say that.
Yeah, and it's like for me, like since you haven't listened to all of Galactica, like you might not know, but even at least from that album wise, I can't remember all the mixtapes off top, so I can't remember right off. But I know, just like off the top of my head, even from there, I could feel him kind of going into like this direction, and that was 2013, 2014
I
Cadillac.
think it was 2014 or 13. 14?
Somewhere around there. I remember it coming out. And he had a song on there. I think it was Third Eye. I think it was Third Eye, and
Uh-huh.
it was more of a oh, this is different than usual Crit, if I'm remembering the song correctly. And then, but at the same time, it was just like, but this fits his brand. This doesn't feel like it's like he's reaching, you know.
Yeah. I
Or
like okay, go.
no, I'm just trying to make sure I'm trying to make sure I got the right song. I think it was Third Eye. And then he also had an interlude on there. It was Standby. That was also kind of like kind of like just like, oh, okay, this is just like a slow down type thing. Cause like I think that actually comes on, it was on the album that came right after My Sub. And it was just like Stand By. You know, it was just real cool, real calm, just like, okay, this is different, but I like this. I like this.
Yeah. I like that. I like the because I remember prior to because I knew Big Crit, but I got into Big Crit's music really like 2016, 15, 17.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember him like this is before like around 2011, 2012. He used to produce for T.I. And I think he did a couple records with T.I. He did like a couple hooks. And I
Mm-hmm.
always like his hooks. His hooks are always hard. And his production too, like his production style was like it reminded me of like some classic Southern production. Like it's really
Have you
good.
ever sat down and watched him? I think it was he was in like an interview or something. They were like, "What does your process look like?" And he just like produced a beat for him right there. I forget what it was. That was like wow. But he did it just like right there.
Right there. Yeah. So I mean, shout out to Big Crit, man. People don't really give him his flowers. You know, he's talking about Digger the Roses, but like he said, Digger the Roses don't die. So you got your
But
flowers. But the next album we want to review is Tana Talk 4 by my guy Benny the Butcher.
we pull up that album list right quick.
Boy, since I'm the bigger Benny the Butcher fan, I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
This album is everything I wanted from the Benny the Butcher project. It is gutter, it is street, it is, and this is why I love Griselda. It is the essence of street rap that like you saw from Mobb Deep, Wu Tang, early Jay Z, early not like
Yeah,
it's that.
to me, like the whole album felt like a Wu Tang type project until you hit the Griselda parts.
Yeah, let's hit it.
It
We hit
just
it.
like who was it on there? It was West Side came on
Yeah,
there for the one.
it was
And I was just
Guerrero,
like,
right?
oh yeah, this is don't forget it's Griselda on here, and it was Conway was
Conway.
on here too. Yeah, I said Conway.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, like he gets. I think I'll say this: this album is really hard and really tough. I think the issue with I'll elaborate on the review, but I think the issue with guys like Benny is they get pigeonholed in a box
Mm-hmm.
because of the sub. Like we talked about this with Pusha T, right? It's a lot of street drug trafficking music.
Yeah, like you can't play this stuff on the radio.
And you can't play it on the radio, but I feel like the surface level fan
Mm-hmm.
don't if you're a surface level fan that you need like, because I've heard a lot of fans say, "Why do we talk about drugs? Why do we talk about this?" When you listen to Benny, you listen to Freddie, you listen to Kanye, you listen to Westside, it's about bars.
Mm-hmm.
Strictly about bars. That's all they care about. This complaining about is about people that are a fan of this shit. We care about bars. That's all we care about. And I was telling niggas, Benny is in that category of top elite lyric. This man is from Johnny P's cat. To me, people was like, "Oh, J. Cole bodied him on that shit." What do you think? I would ask you, what do you think?
They said J. Cole bodied him on that?
Yes, they said J. Cole bodied. I've heard from people, and you know the people I know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it might have been a little biased there, but I definitely want to say he bodied him. I felt. Well, first off, I wasn't listening to see who bodied who on there. I was just like listening to the song, but I felt like it was like just a well balanced song. It was just like, okay, you go into Benny, and then all of a sudden you hear the J. Cole coming here talking about God was crying. I was just like, yo, this is the transition between the two felt so natural to me that I was truthfully in my heart, I was shocked that it took this long for it to happen. They should make an album together.
Yeah, there was a lot. Well, there was a line that J. Cole said where he said, "If Jesus asked for a feature, I'm going to hell." And somebody we knew did not like that bar at all. He took it literally. But I'll tell you about that off. off. But that bar, I mean, J. Cole, I felt like J. Cole had a better verse. But he did not body Benny the Butcher. Benny the Butcher held his own. Benny the Butcher held his own with J. Cole. Like, I don't. I think this whole album from Stove God Cooks, Bo DJ, oh my god, Conway and 38 Speed. These niggas, it's like it's just about the skill, man.
Yeah.
And like I like the production on it. It's really like you said, the Wu-Tang influence. It
was clearly there.
It was clearly there. The Mobb Deep. Yeah, I'm going with different New York rappers, but like it has that essence of it, and like we don't get this. And I was saying about the surface of a fan, like I feel like where Benny is right now, this is cool for him. I think he's getting a good look with this Tana Talk 4 because a lot of people, a lot of motherfuckers fuck with this shit. The last album he put out, the last album he put out, which was the one with Hit Boy.
Okay, yeah.
Burden of Proof was like that. Like that album was really where I felt like you couldn't put him in a box because he really showed you different shit, but from a street perspective. So like I feel like if him and Hit Boy could get into the studio again and create Burden of Proof 2, he'd be out of here. He's like that. But yeah, that's my review.
That's what's up. Well, just I guess add on to what you said a little bit here. I listened to this maybe 4 times. Just because you're right, like it really was like that. And honestly, it was shocking. And again, just like that, the balance between him and J. Cole to me was so seamless that it's crazy that they haven't done a song together like that already. And if they have, I completely missed it because this felt like gold that just was never dug up until now. And then also it's just like he takes you back, just like, well, don't forget, I'm still with my boys, and then he has like the feature on here with Westside, and you hear the doo doo doo. You know, it's just like this Griselda. Hey yo, you know, so every time, and then he also had the let me pull it up here, the my second favorite song on here actually, because my first favorite was the one Johnny P.K.R.I.T with J. Cole. Then my second one was Tyson versus Ali. with Conway.
Conway?
I keep almost saying Kanye. I don't know why I keep almost saying.
Okay, let me ask you this, because I've been debating with niggas. How do you view Conway's lyrical skill?
And what do you mean?
Do you think he's a top tier lyricist like Conway? And between him and Benny, who do you think's better?
I think I definitely listen to more Benny, but Conway might be better.
I was really because I really I have a lot of people I talk about like lyricists and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I said right now, J. Cole and Conway the Machine are the two best lyricists in the game.
I can see that.
Barring Kendrick Lamar, barring Kendrick Lamar coming back.
Yeah, I heard. I think I heard something about a rumor about him doing something this year, but I don't know.
Kendrick will never know. So
yeah, I mean there was a rumor last year saying he gonna put something out too. So I ain't gonna put my eggs in that basket.
Yeah, go Chris.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that was pretty much my review. Just solid album. I would recommend you guys listen to it.
Oh, and I didn't get my favorite records on here. So Johnny P's Caddies. I think my favorite record on here is 10 More Commandments with Diddy. He's putting you niggas on game. Stop putting your shit on social media, nigga. Stop putting it on social media.
Oh yeah, and then how you right, he was putting people on game. He was just like he was talking about how like people get upset when rappers buy like jewelry and stuff. He was just like, if I put my money into girls, I just wasted all that money. If I put my money into jewelry and I lose all my money tomorrow, I can spend that jewelry and get it right back. Or sell that jewelry and get it right back.
And he was telling niggas, like if you in that lifestyle, you could buy some jewelry, but put your money in something that you can sell.
Yeah.
And get it back. So like, I really like, I like the record with Westside, Guerrero, Tyson vs. Ali.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chowhart, the last record was, oh my God. He's a top tier lyricist. I want to put that out there. Benny's one of them niggas. Like, he's one of them niggas. So shout out to Benny. We want more. I would like to review. I didn't finish Conway's album. Maybe we should review Conway's album next. Earth Gang.
Earth Gang? They got a new album?
Yes, Ghetto Gods.
I didn't see that come out. I'll check it out later.
Ghetto Gods and Conway the Machine's God Don't Make Mistakes. I was halfway through that. I didn't finish that album. But those are the two albums I have to go back to. But yeah, shout out to them. So I saw this tweet earlier, and I wanted to ask you, Chris, and myself. Steve Harvey was on a show, and they asked, because you know how he's one of those dudes. I'm old school.
Mm-hmm.
We don't listen to those hippie hoppy hop. Like, he's one of those.
Mm-hmm.
He just got me thinking of Godfrey's impression. But he's one of them dudes that's like, he's Earth, Wind, and Fire. So he went on this, like, they asked him what hip hop albums he bought. He said a Jay-Z album, Tupac album, and he said a P.D. Pablo album.
P.D. Pablo.
Can you imagine Stephen Harvey listening to P.D. Pablo? That's fun. But he sent out a tweet. He asked, "What's your favorite album in high school?"
Steve Harvey, that was his tweet.
Yeah, that was a Twitter question. So, what was your favorite album in high school?
In high school?
Yeah,
probably Good Kid, Mad City.
I was in high school when that dropped. Oh, it's this. It was so fucking. I was right about.
We should have been in 12th grade when that dropped.
I think
that was 2012, 2013, right?
Yeah, see, my situation was different. I came back from Africa.
True.
I had a whole different. So I got my I did the GED test in 2012, and I got my diploma later that month, and I went for a small graduation in 2013. But so I can't. Can I count that as high school? Because I didn't go to high school with you niggas. I'll say this.
I mean,
that would be
like you weren't graduated yet per se.
yeah, but I wasn't in high school. I didn't have that high school experience with people when that album came out. So I don't.
Gotcha.
So it's a little harder for me.
What came out when you were in school in Africa?
How the hell came out? I was just trying to think. I probably would have to say Carter 4.
Carter 4.
I'll say Carter 4. Carter 4. I would say Carter 3, but that dropped right before I went to high school. Yeah, that dropped right before I went to high school. But Carter 4, because I remember like me and my bros, we like my cousin actually got like, so my cousin from Richmond, he came to, that's how I reconnected with him, by the way. They came to Ghana on a trip and they didn't know I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they had sent me a Facebook request and we connected. And shout out to cousin Kevin. He got me like a link to the Carter 4 album. So I had the whole album. Like this link he gave me. So I remember listening to the album a lot, but probably Carter 4. It's not really the best in that period, but it's the one I remember listening a lot. And like that was like that's the one. I would say
your favorite album doesn't have to be the best album, just the one you like the most.
Yeah, in high school probably was Carter 4 or My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Between those. But I was more of a Wayne fan. Wayne was like my favorite rapper. So anything about Wayne.
Wayne was hot at the time.
Anything about Wayne. So I'd probably say Carter 4. My favorite in high school. Probably Carter 4, yeah. But yeah. And you said Good Kid, Mad City. Yeah, I wish I could. I would have stole that one, boy. Because that one was. But around that, how many classic albums came out? I don't think that many great albums came out in that period. Honestly,
around that time,
I think 08 to. When did you go to high school? 09 or 08?
09. 09 to
13?
13, yeah.
And mine was 08 to 12. So I went fall of 08. Yeah, fall or summer 08. Yeah, I mean, I can't really think. That's the only album was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Drake's first Take Care.
I forgot that came out.
J. Cole.
What was J. Cole's? Yeah.
Friday Night Lights, the mixtape.
Yeah.
That's a mixtape though. Yeah, I can't really think of too many special albums.
Oh, Born Center came out when we were in college.
Huh?
Yeah. Said you're right, because Born Center came out when we were in college.
Yeah. Watch the Throne. Watch the Throne was another one.
Oh yeah.
That was another one. That was a moment. Yeah, Watch the Throne. Mm-hmm. But I still was a bigger Wayne guy in high school.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Wayne could do no wrong back then.
But if you ask me middle school, I'd say the Drop 3. But that's for another discussion. But yeah, I just wanted to ask you that. But getting into some general news, a couple of general. Well, this is the last music related thing we'll talk about. It's kind of music related. Well, Pete Davidson finally responds to Kanye. Crazy when you reacting. Pete Davidson finally responds to Kanye West. Mm-hmm. I think this is so like been talked about everywhere. I think people know. Chris, you know what happened, right?
Yeah, I know. What
are your thoughts? Because I seen your reaction. I want to hear your thoughts first, just because of your reaction.
Well, I mean, it just kind of confirmed that it's two grown children coming at each other. I don't know.
Huh? Interesting take. You said two grown children. Interesting take.
Yeah, no, Pete and Kanye. Because you're talking about how Pete took the picture in bed, right? Yeah. And that's something a child would do to say to another. Be like, look what I'm doing, you're not. Yeah. So
I mean, you don't have much to say. But, I'll say this.
what else is there to say?
I'll
I
say this.
mean, go ahead.
I've said I'll stop. I'm not gonna give Kanye Bozo of the Week. Have you seen the doc yet?
The doc. Oh no,
The
no, no,
Kanye-
no, 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 no.
I recommend you watch, and then like maybe your thoughts. I don't know if your thoughts of him will change because right now he's kind of not. He's making himself look really stupid. But I don't want to give him Bozo of the Week just because I wouldn't feel comfortable. But I think Pete, although you're right, what you said the response wasn't the best. This man has been cyberbullying this dude for 3 months. He's been antagonizing him, bullying him, and he's been quiet for a long time. Like, granted, what you said was right. I wouldn't poke a bear like that. But come on, man. It gets to a point where you're like, I don't feel bad for you, Kanye. You kind of been bullying this nigga, and he's been a nice guy. Pete Davis is a nice guy. I don't know him to be. He did take a couple weird pictures with MGK that he posted, but that's him being white. No disrespect, but it was a picture of them, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say I just like feel bad for the kids and all this because like that's the like he took a picture with Kim in bed, but like I didn't see the picture. I just heard about it, but like that's still them kids' mother, you know. he in bed.
He didn't take it was. It's funny because it wasn't a picture of him and Kim in bed. If he did that, Kanye would be in suicide watch right now. It was basically
more like he be on homicide watch right now.
Yeah, it was basically a picture of him like doing this on the bed, just him solo on the bed. So he might not have even been. I don't know. He in the bed with Kim. Who knows? But he was in a bed. But
it's implied.
Yeah, it's implied.
He got there somehow. That's a big house.
Yeah, but to me, I am not too mad at him for defending himself because, like, dog, why are you publicly bullying him?
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Pete is wrong for retaliating at all, but
it's the class. I get that part. I fully understand because Chris, if it's me, I wouldn't even respond like that because I know we, you know how niggas take that type of shit. They gonna blow that up and then it's going to it will turn to a fight or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's, so like
you're watching in the next year we're gonna have a Kanye versus Pete Davidson fight.
Yeah, like there's lines you just don't cross, but I get why he did because at that point you made a video of kind of like you killing him.
Yeah, you did that.
So like, so I don't. Although I, in principle, I don't agree with what Pete did. I don't care.
Yeah, no, honestly, and I don't care about neither one of these guys. I'm just like I was over this before it even started.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Chris. It's for the kids. It's like at the end of the day, like you got 4 kids, yay. I think we're talking about with this rod, like when you have kids, I think you have to move a little different. I don't know why, like you're still thinking it's 2007 or 8, where like you could just say whatever you want. Like there has to be some level of growth and maturity because this is some high school shit. This is some high school shit. Yeah, I'm smashing your girl, and you met and you in your feelings because somebody's with your girl. Like, what type of shit is this? And then my thing on both parts is like, Kanye's been doing this, but like, why are you putting text messages with people online?
I don't get it. Nothing is sacred between them.
We'll leave it there. Hopefully Kanye don't do that. Kanye, you're pushing it, man. I really, cause I watched the documentary. I don't want to give you Bozo of the Week just
Mhm.
because of that, but you pushing it, man. You pushing. You keep asking for it, man. But hopefully, God's grace, you can get better just for the sake of your kids. And Pete, leave Pete Davidson alone. Scrawny little white boy. Oh yeah, we can move. We can move. Yeah, but speaking of moving on, Deshaun Watson to the Browns. Uh, so prior to this, there was some I think issue with Baker Mayfield that was going on with the Browns.
Mhm.
I kind of people felt that the Browns did Baker Mayfield wrong by some of the stuff that was implied, but I really don't care for Baker Mayfield like that. So
Yeah, you see, and the problem with their analysis is that they think the Browns do anybody right. The Browns don't do anybody right. Who's gone to the Browns and just feel like my career has gone so well since I've gone to the Browns?
my
Literally nobody.
my issue, people were calling the Browns clowns, right? And I agree,
Mhm.
but people were like standing up for Baker, like what they're doing. I'm like, bruh, you were loyal to you were loyal to an organization that hasn't proven loyalty to anybody.
Mm-mm.
So you want me to feel bad for you? Like I remember remember Hugh Jackson?
Mhm.
He got fired from Cleveland a couple years ago.
Yeah.
When he left and he went and he got fired, not like he quit and went to Cincinnati. He
Yeah.
got hired by Cincinnati as an assistant head coach. You went on Twitter dissing him, saying, "Yeah, that's the side you on. Yeah, you chose the side. I don't rock with you." Got fired.
Yeah.
Got fired. And then there was a running back. I forgot the name. Is it RJ Johnson? I forgot the name. He requested for a trade 2 years ago.
Mhm.
You went on Twitter and you said either you're on our side or on the other side. This is your teammate requesting for a trade. I would think you would call him on the phone so you can have a conversation with him like a man.
See, and I'm glad you remember who it was too, because I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't remember Browns players. I
No, yeah,
don't
I had
remember
to
Browns
no,
players.
because the reason why I remember this because it was brought up on Twitter because he requested for a trade from the
Yeah,
Browns
yeah, yeah. I
and they
do
said
remember something like that.
so they brought this up to like say, oh, now look at you. So like, although we can clown the Browns and say they're this, that, and the third, I don't fuck with Baker. I just think he a trash person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how he treat OBJ. I don't like Baker, and I don't feel bad for him. So for the folks that feel bad for Baker Mayfield, did you feel bad for Johnny Manziel? Did you feel bad for RG3? Did you feel bad for Tyler Pryor? Did you feel bad for all the
Terrell
15?
Pryor.
Yeah, Terrell Pryor. Did you feel bad for all the 15, 16 quarterbacks that they had that I don't even remember because they only played for like a season or two?
It's like all of them.
Fucking Cleveland. The only person they did right was Jim Brown. And Chris,
That
you
was forever ago.
okay. So Deshaun Watson, you got some explaining to do because you requested to go to the Browns. How
Yeah,
do you
no,
feel?
honestly, I was telling Peter this off air. I just figured like this is like signifying like the end of his career. Cause nobody who willingly goes to the Browns does well. Like nobody just would be like, oh, this was the greatest move of my career was to go to the Browns. Nobody. Literally nobody. Like you might get a few plays here and there, they leave the Browns and their career picks up or they're getting noticed more. But nobody playing on the Browns on current roster or past roster, just like the Browns was the greatest thing that ever happened to me for my NFL career.
I
I
think we
mean,
did.
if going for like getting drafted into the NFL, like maybe that's the greatest thing ever happened to you in your life. But just career wise, nah. It was not.
I'll say this. I think he did it for the money.
Yeah,
And
yeah. If he didn't do it for the money, then I would question his sanity. To be honest with you.
and he also did it well. In Cleveland, there's less temptation,
Mm.
if you know what I mean. But that's a side note thing. I know people go, oh man, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Cleveland, and you just got cleared from 22 sexual assault cases. Where
20.
would be the least
Oh no, you're
21,
right. 22.
22? Where would be the least, place for temptation out of those three? I would think it'd be Cleveland.
Maybe.
Atlanta and New Orleans, especially Atlanta, boy. I don't think if you beat a case, Atlanta would be, and you know who you are. I don't think Atlanta would be the best place for you to go. I don't think it would be for him specifically. But I think money, combination of that, the roster, they have a good roster, but they lost two key receivers. They have a good defense. I'll give him that. They have a good defense. They'll compete. But long term, I don't know. It's weird. Deshaun Watson, I don't know about this, Chief.
Yeah, I was about to say honestly, and like even saying they'll be able to like compete is almost like just it feels kind of presumptuous because that's also saying like you're assuming like that defense will perform the same way it did last year, and we all know how quick a defense can fall apart. It only takes one play sometimes.
Look at Washington last year. Washington's a great example of their defense. Their defense is special. Their defense expectations, and then they just went.
Literally, yeah. Literally.
If we just waited a day, Chris, we could have got Deshaun Watson.
I don't know how much better he would fare with. I guess he would be better with y'all than he would be with Cleveland, but at least if he's not with y'all, his legs won't get broke. Because y'all be taking some legs.
You're right. But sometimes I really question why I support the Washington Commanders football team, whatever they're called. I really question. I'm like, why? I'm like, other people don't. Other people that I know are fans, they don't. They just ride along and skiffity dippity, and they sound like Barney every time they talk about this damn team. But that's neither here nor there.
Just find a new team. Just find a new team. Ain't nobody gonna blame you. Your team was the Commanders now. They change, you could change.
You know what? You're right. But a part of me just says, let's ride it out. I'm not. A part of me knows I'm going to regret doing this, but
because people have that ride or die mentality when it comes to sports, and just like you're dying more often than you're riding them. Is that okay? Like I mean, like you go ahead. Like some people, Cleveland Browns still have fans. Jacksonville still has fans. That's fine.
You're right, but
it makes like a switch.
You know how it's not like the Cowboys because I don't have fake expectations. They have fake expectations. Mm-hmm. But we were a glory franchise. So a part of me is like maybe one day. I thought about when we got our RG3. It was like, yes, finally and then yeah. As I'm talking about the Washington football team, as I'm talking about us, I'm messing up. My damn camera messes up. Yes. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I guess I ain't like that.
As I'm talking about us crashing, my damn camera crashes. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's talk about some other miserable fans. Aaron Rodgers stays in Green Bay. Told you guys so. Told you.
Yeah, you did.
But I didn't see this one happen. Devontae Adams went to fucking the Raiders.
I didn't see that happening either. So what was he traded or
traded?
Okay, I don't know why they. Wait, what did they trade him for?
They got. I think is it two second rounders and one first round pick?
Is this a strong receiving class that's coming out of something?
Yeah, they said it's a strong receiving class.
Strong receiving class. Then maybe I don't know. It might be worth it, but
I'll say I was shocked because Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams were like they seemed like they were this, but
Yeah, no, that's a strong connection. But like, I mean, if they can potentially get two strong young receivers to groom while they still have Aaron Rodgers,
yeah.
potentially.
So I mean, it depends. You know what, Green Bay, you owe this dude because
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, they could have drafted. You know how many receivers they could have drafted that were like that have become great right now?
Mm-hmm.
They could have gotten DK Metcalf. I said D.
Yeah.
They could have got him. They got so like. So I mean, Green Bay, there's pressure on them to draft, but I was shocked because it's the way that the story came up. So like, they said he's been disgruntled with them
Mm-hmm.
because of the long-term contract, and that Aaron Rodgers kind of knew he probably wasn't going to come back, and that shocked me because I just thought like they would have some communication because Green Bay did offer the same deal that Oakland offered. They offered more money. I heard Green Bay offered more money, but he said no.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of I don't trust you guys, and I'm cool with Derek Carr and the Raiders. But it's like for me, I'm starting to question Aaron Rodgers as his leadership skills. Is like you can't get your guy to like you couldn't convince your guy to stay.
Yeah, cause like I mean, and like they're also kind of like assuming in this trade, they're also like assuming that at least I'm assuming that they're assuming that they can get somebody at least close to his caliber and potentially in this draft class.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm starting to question Aaron Rodgers' leadership skills because like if it's Brady's gonna make sure his dude is good. He might
Oh yeah,
Brady might
Brady will make sure his teammates is good.
Brady will cut some
And he's
M's
coming
off.
back too now, isn't he?
Oh yeah, should bring that up. We'll talk about that. But Brady cut some M's off his
Mm-hmm.
deals to get his people paid. So it's like,
But that just shows to go, you like some people are more prioritized on the winning, and some people are not. They're just like, well,
all
that's
right,
just how it goes.
listen, Aaron Rodgers. I'm giving Aaron Rodgers a warning if he watches this show. You are the quarterback with the most pressure. I don't care, Devontae Adams or not. You have the most pressure to win. The NFC is becoming the NFC least. Everybody's going to the damn AFC now. No more excuses, man. I don't want to hear any excuses. It's not even an excuse. The only problem you have is a 44-year-old that refuses to retire in Tom Brady. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. But speaking of that, what do you feel about him coming back all of a sudden?
Not surprising to be honest, because even when he said he was going to retire, it was like it's like maybe I retired type feeling. So I was just like, I'm not gonna truly believe it until like that season started, because I kind of felt like it was a possibility, and it turns out it is a possibility. And honestly, I'm kind of disappointed in him because like I thought I was like, okay, he's retiring, but he's older and he's still in relatively good shape for like because like a lot of these guys when they retire they can't halfway walk no more.
Yep.
And so I was like, okay, well at least he could walk. Now, and he I mean, to be granted, like probably not a lot's gonna happen this next season. I don't think, knocking wood, I don't think anything crazy is gonna happen to him or anything, because typically he has a line that takes very good care of him, and he knows how to get rid of the ball when he needs to. Still a high performing athlete. Arguably at this point in time, you could say he's the like greatest like mind probably and awareness in football right now. Because you don't get to 44 regardless of whatever controversies are around you, and in a context for like football, and not and be able to like have all your faculties intact and still be perfectly like fine, relatively speaking. You don't get to be his age and not have a limp in football as a quarterback. Because especially as a Tom Brady, people are gunning for you. If I'm defensive lineman, I want to hit him hard enough that he doesn't want to get back up.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that feel that way, especially after hearing he's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
What do I think of this? First of all, his retirement was so not real because he didn't even thank the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't thank the Patriots at all.
No.
So, like, the part of me was like,
I don't know if he's a thank you type of guy though.
He thanked the Bucks.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he thanked the whole Bucks organization and staff and everybody. He sent a whole long message. Yeah, he sent a whole message, but he didn't thank anybody from New England. So that had my mind like, and it was a very unconventional retirement. Very unconventional. So a part of me was like, maybe he'll come back preseason or some shit. You know, this nigga.
I'm pissed if I'm that backup though.
And then 2, you gotta look at it like this. What other phenomenal athlete that we call the GOAT came back from a retirement?
Oh, Jordan. But Jordan was actually gone for a little bit, wasn't he?
Well, the first 2 retirements, yes. The first one he left for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Second one he left for like 3 years.
Yeah.
2-3 years.
Because he was playing baseball at that point, though, right?
Yeah, the first one he was playing baseball. The second one he retired because of, because they were rebuilding and he didn't want to play for anybody else. He was loyal to Phil and Scotty and everybody, so he didn't want to do that. But I saw it. I'm not shocked because like he went to watch a game, went to watch a Manchester United game. He saw Ronaldo play. Ronaldo scored a hat trick that day.
Mm-hmm.
And then right after that, I see
that video. Yeah.
I said I have to come back. So, hey, man, good luck for him. Aaron Rodgers, you have a...
Almost feel like that was planted.
Yeah. But yeah, he's still going to be elite, I think. The NFC's gotten weaker. Still got Matt Stafford, though. I think we're not going to sleep on Matt Stafford. I don't know what the 49ers will look like because I don't know who their quarterback will be.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys are, the Dallas Cowboys. And so, yeah, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, I think, and Matt Stafford are the 3 that are going to be gunning for the rights to the Lombardi Trophy. But, yeah, Tom, congrats on coming back after a month and a half. But yeah, I think he's gonna play. I think this will be his last season. I just don't see somebody 48, 47 playing quarterback, bro. Like, it's okay. Let it go, man.
He might try. He's gonna get his arm up this high. He's like, that's high enough.
Let Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, shoot, even like Aaron Rodgers is older, like. Let these new niggas eat, man. I get it. Like if
he probably wants everybody that he saw as a rival to retire first. He gonna wait for Aaron Rodgers to retire, then he'll retire.
He'd be wicked if he did that. I'd be wicked. But like I said, if he wins the 8th one.
Mm-hmm.
He's the GOAT of sports, period. I would have to put him over Michael. People right now put him over Michael, but he'd be the GOAT of sports. Because like you just can't. No, he can't. NFL, don't let it happen. Don't let it happen, man. NFL, make sure it doesn't happen. Because no, it's okay. You have 7. You have more than the whole. You have more than everybody come like. It's okay, Tom.
Basically, his own franchise.
What else does he have? You beat Mahomes twice. You beat Aaron Rodgers. You beat Peyton Manning all the time. I really don't know why.
Didn't beat Eli though.
Eli unretire and losing the Super Bowl and let him win so he could go away.
Well, that was the reason why he kept coming back. It was just like, this is for Eli, the ones he took from me.
Eli unretire. See, if Eli unretires, his ass ain't that good to come back for a Super Bowl. Listen, Tom is high, man. Eli got lucky. Well, I won't say got lucky.
He just had good tools around him.
Yeah, he just.
Then they won the Super Bowl with an 8-8 record too.
Yeah, I think twice.
Yeah,
both times.
Yeah,
the first time was definitely 8-8 record. That was the year they went 16-0.
Mm-hmm.
They lost against one of the greatest Super Bowls ever. But what was I gonna say? Tom, please let this be your last year. It's okay, man. We get it. It's good. It's kind of I've never seen this in sports. Somebody that's like won the most. It's like Bill Russell.
Mm-hmm.
Having all the championships he does, and he was playing in the 80s against Magic. Let it rest, man. But yeah. So I think that's all we have for I think that's almost all we have for the sport. Oh, this is the last question I have. So let's go to basketball a little and then we're gonna end the show.
Mm-hmm.
So Kyrie dropped 60 the other night. And it was one of the most skillful performances, one of the best performances I've seen from a point guard scoring. This question was asked around Twitter and asked around basketball world. Is Kyrie the most skilled player ever?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. And to be honest, I don't think it'd be wrong to say yes, because I feel like people, especially like of like older generations and even our generation, that'd be like, well, what about T.I. or T.I.? Like, what about AI? Or what about T.I.? What about T.I.? No, what about AI? What about Kobe? What about Jordan? But it's just like you got to realize, huh?
I think you were trying. Were you trying to say T-Mac and you said T.I. and you kind of like got.
I was trying to say T-Mac, and now I was thinking T-Mac and AI. So I mashed it together. But you know what I'm saying though, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, man. That was good.
Like, you could take all these different players, D Wade even. He'd be like, well, he can't. He's not as good as them, or he's not good. Well, yes, he is actually, because he's a combination of everything that they laid down, and people don't realize, like, whatever the past generation put down as fundamentals, the next generation took that on. Like, the crossover wasn't an easy move 30, 40 years ago. that was not like a move everybody could do. And now and you jump forward to the 90s, everybody could do that. You jump forward to today, that is like a basic move that young children can do without much effort at all. But back then it was a hard move. Like, oh, you seen that crossover? That's crazy. Like, no.
Yeah, it was I would say the crossover got common in the 90s, but
I feel like it got more common when Allen Iverson came in, because, like, at least for public, because that's when everybody was just like, watch me, huh?
For public, yeah.
Yeah.
But people were doing it, but no, it wasn't called a crossover till AI did it the way he did it.
Yeah.
Because his cross was different.
Yeah.
His cross was like it was the way he did it. Like, I remember there was a documentary about it that I watched. His shit was so different. It took you. It literally made you go like this. It made the play like it made the go like, and like, because he crossed MJ twice,
and
you saw how he moved. And like, prior to that, the crossover was a move, but it wasn't a move that tricked you the way it did. I think the crossover evolved over time.
Yeah,
the move evolved over time.
That's what I'm saying though. Like people progress, moves progress. There's progression over time. And so if he wasn't, because he is the most skilled player in the NBA right now, And if he was not like as skilled as his predecessors, after learning all their moves and all this and other and combining them, making those moves that they had even better, then the NBA would be, like relapsed. And that's clearly not the case.
Yeah.
There's no lack of talent in today's NBA.
I saw this and I asked people. A lot of people said yes. I'm gonna sit here and say, I'm looking at the total package of what he does, including the handle, ball movement, footwork, everything, in and out, handle, crossover, in between, behind the back,
everything.
I'm literally saying every fucking dribble move. And
I was just like,
step back. He can do it all, and he does. Like, this is the thing with Kyrie, right? It's like watching Michael Jackson dance sometimes. It's that pretty, and it's like I always when I say most skilled, I always lean towards Kobe and like Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon. Those are the three for me. And Tim Duncan is another one. But Kyrie can do like every offensive move in the book. He can finish. He can finish at the rim. His layup package is ridiculous. He can shoot the three at a high clip. The two, he has a midi. He can post up. Yeah.
I was about to say that everything again.
yeah. Because I'm just literally thinking of every move that he's done in my head. Yeah, I would have to say it's between him, Kobe, him and Kobe. Kobe. I think if we're looking at footwork and the skill of scoring, I may lean towards Kobe on like how to get shots off. I think when it comes to getting shots off, nobody's better than Kobe. Period. I think the way he positions his shots, no one can do that shit.
And even that, and that come from a Kobe fan, I feel like even that can be debatable because we could also say that defense is different than what it used to be back when Kobe was more prominent as well.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing that makes Kobe's argument even intensified.
Because people are backed off now more so because they can't play defense as rough.
Yeah.
That footwork package isn't necessarily like something that is as required anymore because it's so easy to draw a foul. Well, I mean, not easy because it is hard to draw fouls. Look at James Harden making his career out of it right now.
He's another crazy offer, but he's I don't want to talk about James right now.
Yeah,
but
yeah, you still fan though, right?
I see what you're saying. Like, you don't need to do all of that because of the way people play.
Because it's not necessarily like he can't, but it's not really like it's required as much anymore.
It's not required, but I feel like look at DeMar, right? He could do some of that shit, and you see where
but bigger guys are also going to be on him too.
Huh?
Bigger guys are also going to be on DeMar too.
On DeMar?
Yeah,
that's true. How DeMar's how tall? 6'4"?
6'4". 6'4".
And Kyrie's like what, 6'1", 6'2"?
Yeah, but DeMar also plays like he goes between 2 and 3, or is he just 2 now?
He plays between the 2 and 3.
Yeah, see, so if he's going between that, then it's a decent chance like somebody bigger than him will be on him. So he'll need that footwork.
Yeah, I think with Kyrie, you would want someone big on Kyrie.
Yeah,
depending on the switch. Depending on if he gets a switch. Because if he gets a switch on a bigger guy, he's going to handle him to death. So that's another thing that makes him fucking crazy, right? He don't have to like do that footwork shit because his handle is so good. He can create space.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's like how will he showcase his footwork when he doesn't actually need to utilize it because he hasn't picked up his dribble?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Kyrie. I think Kobe's right neck and neck with him, and then Jordan. I put the most skilled people like Kyrie. I put it Kyrie, Kobe, Jordan, and then KD.
Oh, you put Kobe in front of Jordan.
As far as skill, the reason why I don't think he's better than him because there's certain things you can look at
You don't have to be better than somebody to be more
to be
skilled than
skilled.
them.
Yeah. Because like obviously we know Kyrie's not better than Kobe.
Right.
Yeah, but I feel like what you said, the evolution of the game. What Michael did at that time was the peak of skill,
Mm-hmm.
but as shooting became the full force and everything, and zone defenses were becoming crazier, where they could literally block you out the paint. Kobe had to develop that skill on another level. Like Jordan could what Jordan will usually do when he comes, because like they do the triangle offense, right? So he catches the ball, he'll do a 1-2 shoot,
Mm-hmm.
right? But he could also go to the lane because they're not. There's no zone, right? So he has that option.
Right.
In the 2000s, especially with the Detroit, Indiana teams and a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
teams, the fucking San Antonio Spurs with David Robinson and Tim Duncan, and they took the hand check away.
Mm-hmm.
They basically forced defenses to say, "All right, we're gonna block niggas from going into the paint."
Yeah.
So like instead of you having the option to go to the rim, you're gonna meet like 3, 4 bodies. So instead of doing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, you're gonna do 1, 2, 3, pump fake, or like you're gonna have like be very creative with how you're gonna score. And I think that's the evolution of what Kobe did. He took because of the rules, by the way, because the rules got like more hectic with zone defenses and stopping you from going to the paint. Like you could look at the fucking hot like Kobe did some shit that like it's like art. Like really, it's like art. And you're like, how the hell did you get that shot up? Like, do you remember the shot that he shot with his left hand against
Mm-hmm.
Dallas?
Mm-hmm.
Like he was stuck on like the right, like close to out of bounds, and like he had to do this, and like I think he was on his pivot foot, and he shot with his left hand and he made it.
Mm-hmm.
Who could do that? Ain't no ain't nobody like that's like Jordan. Maybe he could do it if he had to be in that position, but like you said, the evolution of the game.
Yeah.
So that's why I put Kobe as far as skill ahead of Jordan because his footwork is
Yeah, because like I just find like the argument being like people always saying, well, like the basketball players yesterday could do this, that, and the third, but it's just like yesterday's peak is not today's peak. To misquote people, but it's just like what like the evolution of people of the physicality of people have grown dramatically. What 30 years ago, what was a peak athlete is probably like average right now. Like for like I mean like like professionally speaking, like whoever was like like this person is like tip top,
you
they're
said
like best,
you
huh?
said athleticism or just
Like
overall.
just in general like athleticism. I'm not saying
Okay.
like Jordan level, but I'm saying like somebody like I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody. Let's say somebody like Charles Barkley's athleticism in today's NBA could be probably, I guess, the closest to him would be looked at like a Zion Williamson in terms of like body, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Zion is much more athletic than than Charles was, though, right?
Zion is probably
The
one of
same body type, same.
Zion is kind of like an anomaly.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying, like Charles was looked at like he was he was looked at as also as an anomaly because he was 6'6", 6'7",
Yeah, he was
playing
6'4".
playing power forward.
Yeah, that's because he was an undersized power forward that could like run the floor and still scoring on the post. So he was an anomaly in a
but
different
you
sense.
see what I'm saying, though, right? Like,
yeah, he was. Yeah.
They would have looked at him as like, this is what peak athleticism looks like for this type of player. And then you jump forward to today's world, where again Zion is an anomaly, but he would be considered the peak. And Charles is not. You can't really say he doesn't hold a dime to him because Charles is still like a legendary player, but it's a clear difference. You can't say Charles' athleticism. At least to me, you can't say Charles' athleticism is of the same caliber as Zion's. Now you can say his skill wise, Charles might still handle him pretty well.
Right
but
now,
athleticism, well, yeah, of course, right now. But I'm talking about like just at Zion's future peak.
Okay.
Peak. Because he's still a kid. I don't know. Zion could never get any better, but
Zion
his potential peak.
I'll say this about Zion: get the hell out of New Orleans. We eating too much.
Yeah. He's a big boy. He needs to slow down.
Yeah,
but you see what I'm saying, though, right?
I see what you're saying.
Like his potential peak, whatever that may be, should be much more like let's say he inherited Charles' skill set and then he keeps his athleticism.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I see as far as evolution and skill. I'm always gonna say that as everything evolves. It's like me. Well, I can't say.
I guess that would have been better to say if Charles had Zion's athleticism back then, like how much different it would have been,
Yeah. Charles had Zion's athleticism. That's an anomaly. But like, I kind of agree with you on the part of the evolution of the game. But I don't know if you're better. Here's the thing with me, right? When we have these older dudes or these newer dudes, they talk about who's better, who's not, who's this, who's that. I look at basketball, it's a skill.
Mm-hmm.
It's the thing you have to learn. It evolves, 3-pointers. People who want to shoot 4-pointers, it's getting there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's also the mental part of the game and the physical part of the game. The older generation had to play in a more hard, well, I don't say harder, but like
it was like physically speaking, it was
physically more harder league, more mental. It was based off skill. You had to be skilled, especially the black players. Some of the white players weren't too skilled, but like they were skilled too. Larry Bird, another anomaly. But it was based on a lot of it was based on mental approach to the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And about winning. I feel like after Jordan, the next generation after him, the winning part of it, I wouldn't even say after Jordan. I would say after Kobe, right? I've seen an instance where it's like we don't care about winning as much. I got endorsements. I got $100 million deals. I got all of these things. I'm good at what I do. If I can just win enough and provide for my family, that's good enough. I can't knock you for that, but I'm not going to say you're a better player than the guy in the 80s or the 90s, right? Mm-hmm. That wants to win, that plays to win.
Oh, I'm talking about like when I say I'm like comparing their athleticism.
No, I wasn't. No, I'm not arguing you on that. I'm just saying because like you said about the whole old and new, the evolution of the game. I don't ever look at it like anyone's better. I just look at it as a situational thing. It's situational. You can't compare. We went to school in the in the 2000s, right? Mm-hmm. The way we learned in the 2000s was different than what these kids are learning in the 20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are the people in the 20s smarter than us because technology is in front of them a little bit more?
Kind of like I know some of them kids was learning like regular algebra in like 5th grade or something like that.
But can you really say? I can't definitively say because you have technology in your face.
They have the tools to be better than we are. How about that?
They have the tools, but can you definitively say they're smarter than us that learned in the 2000s?
Well, you can't necessarily say they were smarter, but because they had the tools to express themselves to a higher degree, they are to that degree smarter than you are. If you were to sit down in that classroom with your knowledge and they sat down in that classroom with their knowledge and you take a test, same test, they would score higher than you, is what I'm saying.
I don't agree.
Well, you don't. Well, I'm not saying. I'm not like it's so subjective because like for that era, okay, let's say for that era or whatever, like yes, you were the smart kid, but then you're put into this era where everybody's actually on your same wavelength because technology has progressed and everybody's able to like learn and think to this level, and you haven't had this because you just jumped up 20 years or whatever. Okay, then you're average with everybody else, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if I put that down.
I get in theory what you're trying to say, because as things evolve, it's easier for the next generation to be smarter. I agree there, but I feel like determining somebody being more smarter is upon like how smart you are. It's not really upon the tool, because it's about how you grasp information. Like there's somebody in this era, right, that has these tools that don't really know how to use them. I could take somebody from our era, give him the same. You give him today's tools, and he could grasp them better. Also, there's somebody in our era that wasn't great in what he did. You could take a kid from this era and put him in ours, and he washed everybody.
Yeah, no, but I think you're thinking of it too. I don't know if it's subjectively or not. It's in a sense, it's like, okay, let's say we go back 50 years, just 50 years, okay? And we take Joe Schmo off the street. The average education from back then is not the same as it is now. What I'm saying is just like the utility, the fact that
if you're talking about utilities, then yeah, I agree there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily saying like people in the past were stupid or the people in the past were unathletic. I'm saying that the utility of the future of advancement in time provides people to advance to a higher level.
No, I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm just saying that whenever like these debates come, I don't like it. And this is not you. This is not you. I don't want to think it's you. But I always feel like every era is biased to what happened in their time, right? And I feel like you can't really prove it unless you're on an even balanced field. You can't prove you're smarter than somebody or you're better unless, like if we take the Warriors in this era and we put them against the Bulls, the Warriors are going to beat the Bulls because of the rules. But if you take the Warriors and you put them in the 90s, who has the advantage? The Bulls. Unless you fully evenly balance it out and say, hey, we're going to do it on this balance rule, then you can prove who's better or not. But to say and I'm not like, it's not to you, but I've just been hearing like, oh, in our era, we'd be better than or this era better than this era. I kind of get annoyed. It's like, dog, you can't prove that.
Well, no, I mean, this is all hypothetical because I'm not building a time machine to go back in time just to make some guy off the street take a test to see whether you're smart or not, or how athletic they are. I'm just saying what I'm stating with this is, if somebody from the past were to come to today's present and only have the utilities that they had until this point in time, and was to take a math test for probably, let's say, I don't know, 7th graders, they'd probably fail that test because the education from back then was not the same. It was not the same level as it is now, just for a general public. In fact, 50 years ago, he might not even went to the 7th grade.
Yeah.
Even in his time.
Yeah.
Because it was for them, it wasn't even necessary.
Yeah, and
so
I'm assuming 50. No, I was trying to interrupt, but like 50, 40 years ago, the way we did math, especially something like math, has English changed? Oh, it has. It has. Like math, I could that and the way we do it now is different.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Like, as time progresses, like we make things easier for ourselves, and we learn. I'm not trying to take away from anything from the past. You know, you learn from your past. I get that. I know that. But I'm just saying, like, it would it would be at least for us that if we weren't progressing as humans to be better than we were in the past, then like it would be the point of us trying to progress at all, kind of.
Yeah,
as opposed to like us just stagnate because we can't get any better.
I agree with what you said. Like, I'm not trying to like argue your points. I don't want you to think I'm arguing your points. Like, I agree with you from a sense of like technology based. My only thing with that is, I just think if you put if you put everything on a balanced field, that's when you can really judge. That's all.
Yeah, but there's no such thing as a balanced judge in this type of scenario, because you can't say you gave Jordan the same stuff that LeBron has of today. You're just going to put them up next to each other and say who's better.
I disagree there. I disagree there because if I say we have to, let's just say we do a math question, right? Right, and I say, hey, we're going to solve it this way. And I teach you that same way, everybody the same way. We teach you that same thing. That's a balanced, even field.
Yeah, but in this scenario, though, there's no, I'm not sitting down and teaching you. I'm just saying, is A better than B? I'm not sitting down and saying, I'm not sitting down saying, hey, A, hey, B. We're trying to make this as even as possible. I'm looking and saying like, hey,
it's okay. You're looking at it like who's
you're looking at who's harder than this one.
Okay, I think I'm just looking at it from a very subjective. Well, is it objective or subjective? I'm looking at it from a very objective way because I feel like learning, right? There's so many ways you learn. Even just forget old, new, whatever. There are people in other countries that learn different from us, and they can say they're smarter than us because of the way they learn.
Right.
I lived in Ghana. I lived in Britain. The way they learn there is totally different. So, all I was just trying to say is, and if you take a balanced way of like, hey, we're gonna teach this class like this. And this math question like this, and the way I taught you, put it out. That's the way I think you can figure out somebody smarter than others. Because if you say that, like,
but by that same logic, if you were to like say teach them this said, math question this way, let's say one of them needs more help than the other to learn this math question the way you're teaching it, then you'd have to teach them another way and teach this other person this other way also. But it becomes more philosophy. Whatever word I'm trying to say, you know what I'm trying to say.
It's not like I said, we're not even debating. What we're just trying to explain is like, I just think that, as far as learning and things like, I don't think you can prove who's better, but I could just say this. You can tell that as years go along, evolution helps us get to better places.
Right.
But I can't say that this person is more smart because you can't really. I just think you can't prove who's smarter and who's not.
I just don't believe there is any like true balance in that type of scenario that you're talking about, though. Because even in today's world, like look at somebody like Luke Walton. Luke Walton's dad was in the NBA. He comes from NBA pedigree, correct? Now look at somebody like a LeBron James.
But Luke,
He's the greatest player in the NBA.
You can't. But see what that's because
but you can say Luke Walton had the better. He had the higher pedigree, and he had the higher resources. He had more. He had more Chris, ways to find way to be better than LeBron if we're talking about pure resources.
But then to me, right, this comes down to the fact of, and like I said, you can't prove anything.
Mm-hmm.
May just not have it. That's my thing. It's just like you just may not. Luke Walton's, Michael Jordan's sons, none of them can play basketball on a professional level. So to me, my main point is, I just think that we get into these, and it's not you, but people from different eras get into who's better, who's not. You can't really prove it. And my point of just like having a balanced way of thinking, that's just hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
In a real world, like how you explained, you can't really create that. You could try, but you can't really create that. But I just think it's very, because like you gotta look at the philosophers before us that have taught us, right? A lot of people could say, they've changed the world, or they've done things, or they've meant a lot. We got a lot of phenomenal philosophers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've taught, but a lot of people of our generation, like, I don't know anyone that's like Malcolm X level of genius, but I know that they have Malcolm, but I know that there are future generations that could do better than Malcolm X because they have the resources to.
Right.
So that's why I have a hard time comparing eras of people's knowledge. And I know we kind of went on a little, but that's just where I think that's just where I'm coming from. Like, I just don't think one era is better than the other. I don't know. I think everybody's special in their own regard.
No, but that's just kind of like what human nature is, though, to grow with every generation. It's not to belittle the other generations, but it's to be better than the next.
Better than yes. So that's where, because like who's new in this era? Like Angela Rye doesn't have she doesn't have the, I don't think like the voice of Malcolm or the voice of Martin Luther King Jr. Well, she's very smart. Very fucking smart. And I think if people gave her that attention that we gave our other, past philosophers, maybe things would change more. But that's not what I talk about. It's like generational gaps. So I don't really like to get into this, and it's not you, Chris. I'm not trying to poop on anything you said.
No, you're good.
I'm just talking from what I hear all the time. Like, oh, Jordan couldn't do this in this era. LeBron. Prior to this, did you hear what Charles Oakley said about Giannis?
What?
He said Giannis wouldn't dominate in the 80s and 90s. He would be on the bench.
He'd be on the bench.
Yes. I love Charles Oakley, but you bugging.
Yeah, he wild.
Now you can say that he would struggle with shooting because they would force him to shoot. Who's stopping him on the fucking? No one's gonna stop that.
He's still a big man.
Yeah, he's strong. It would be harder for him to score. I agree there.
Yeah.
But like this is why, again, the older generation said this and the younger, like, I don't know. It's going to continuously happen, but I get.
Yeah, cause I mean,
it annoys me. It just annoys me.
Yeah, because I mean, by that same logic, like Charles would probably have a harder time in today's game when you can't play that type of physical defense anymore.
Honestly, he's more likely to be on the bench today the way he played back then.
Yeah,
he's very because although he was a good team piece, he was a good defender, but he couldn't. The jump, he'd probably be on the bench today. Like, I don't see.
In today's world, you got to be able to do a little bit of everything at every position.
So. But yeah, we went on a little soliloquy. My bad, viewers. But I think we can agree on this. Kyrie's the most skilled basketball player I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Fuck generation. I haven't seen a nigga that can handle the ball like that ever in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. We went on a fucking long soliloquy that we went to talking about education and basketball. But that's it for the show. Chris, anything else? I think we said a lot today.
Nah, yeah, I've got it all out now.
Yeah. But that's it for the show. You can follow us on before you follow us, you can go on our YouTube page. We'll be there at 3:15 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube on Mondays. Midnight Mondays Eastern time. Remember, like, comment, subscribe on all podcasting platforms. Please give us a review, a comment, a like, 4-star, whatever your thing requires.
You mean 5-star? 5-star, not
five. I said 4. 5. Give us 5 stars. Also, follow us on Out of the Berg Pod, Out of the Berg on IG, and Out of the Berg Pod on Twitter. Keep up with us there. We'll try and get more engaged on social media. Also, like, comment on that too, just to give our engagement up.
Please.
Follow me at Kofi Peter on IG. The Peter is PITA, and at Peter Kofi on Twitter. Chris?
You can catch me at Big Chris _57, and on IG you can catch me at Everybody Loves Chris.
All right. Like I said, have you been entertained? Yes, you have. Stay black, stay woke. We love you.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Out of the Berg podcast. We're available on all podcasting platforms, and we ask that you like, comment, share, and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever we release a new video. And as always, we like you, we love you, but we gotta go. Bye.